Hey, Fresh.
Oh, hey, Matt.
What's going on, dude?
What's up?
Well, you know, Ryan, he left this morning for New York.
Yep.
And I'm going to be gone all next week on vacation, too.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have a vacation.
What are you doing for the show next week?
Well, that means that the one-up show is going to be entirely in your hands next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, you're associate producer now, man. Time to start associate producing.
When you say all me, I'm like, I'll still be just editing a piece, just not showing it to you guys.
Well, no, dude. You're going to need to line up games to cover.
Okay.
You're going to need to get people here to talk about those games.
Right.
You're going to have to figure out who to have in the chat.
Right.
And then you're going to have to get guys on our crew to edit the show together. You know, video department, our guys a little distracted easily.
We're a fun bunch.
We're a fun bunch, kind of
That's true.
squirrely, but you know that means you're just going to have to kind of come down on them a little bit sometimes to make sure that shit's getting done.
Sure.
And like, you're a super nice guy.
Oh.
Yeah. But you're gonna have to like maybe step that back a little bit, like kind of come down on them sometimes, like a little bit of the J Fresh backhand.
Get a little intimidating. Put my foot down.
Yeah.
Kind of like, ah.
Yeah. Give him the R face. Arr! Works every time, dude.
I would get him, man. That'll be fine. Sure. You know.
Cool.
Right?
That,
What could go wrong?
I am brimming with confidence.
Seriously.
Thank you, J
It's gonna be
Fresh. That's
great.
awesome.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh, dude! Oh, fuck! Dude! What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Focus on Anthony for the chat. Focus on Anthony. You were not focusing on Anthony.
Yeah.
I will murder you. God, get the camera up. Get it up. I don't care about your eye. You don't need both eyes.
Oh, fuck,
You only need one. Point the camera at Anthony and shoot it. Do it right now. God,
Oh.
unbelievable. You want to dance too? You want to?
No.
All right. Action. Action. Oh.
仕事へ行きたくない学校なんかつまんないみんなで一緒にテレビゲーム遊びたい遊びたいどこでも行っても同じだみんなで歌を歌うんだみんなで一緒にテレビゲーム遊んだらどうだらワンアップショーを見ましょうワンアップショーで遊ぼうワンアップショーワオすごいワンアップショーやったよこれはワンアップショーです
Who do you think will win, Scorpion or Batman?
Batman would win against anybody, hello.
No, I think Superman would win. Like Superman versus Kano. I wonder who's gonna win that match. The whole premise of this game is to, like, you know, settle those playground arguments of, hey, I bet Scorpion could totally kick Shao Kahn's ass.
Did you have the, wait,
No, when I was a kid, we didn't have Mortal Kombat.
when Mortal
Better
Kombat came
stuff.
out, were you like, I want to see Superman fight Sub-Zero?
Actually, when Mortal Kombat first came out, famously, I stopped playing Street Fighter 2, walked over to Mortal Kombat, played it for 5 minutes, was like, that's not very good, and went back to playing Street Fighter. And that's
Hey, the same thing
You weren't
happened
impressed
to
by
me.
the blood?
No, I wasn't. The whole shtick of Mortal Kombat was blood and digitized characters. And now, like, the graphics aren't digitized anymore, and quite frankly, they're not very good. Like, Mortal Kombat hasn't had, like, top-of-the-line graphics for the last 10 years. If you play the story mode, it's patently absurd. I mean, it kind of has to be, and I think that kind of influences the stages. Some of the stages, you know, like, are in Metropolis or in the Batcave, and those are kind of cool, because you can recognize them. But then, like, the Mortal Kombat stages, the whole aesthetic of Mortal Kombat, you kind of take it or leave it. I've usually left it. It always reminds me of, like, something I would draw in a Trapper Keeper, like these characters like Shao Kahn and Baraka. They're just kind of silly, and, like, for me, I usually can't get over how silly the world is, you know? This is the first, you know, from the ground up next-gen Mortal Kombat. It doesn't look as good as Soul Calibur. It doesn't even look as good as Virtua Fighter to me.
The thing I don't like about it is the whole 3D thing is still,
Well,
like, why does that exist?
It's a little tacked on.
You have the analog stick, and that goes through 3D movements.
Right.
But you have the D-pad,
D-pad.
just controls jumping and 2D movements.
I switched between them.
It's not like a really useful 8-way run like Soul Calibur. You're not going to really
Right.
implement it into your strategies. You're going to use it sparingly. I rarely found myself using 3D movement. this isn't a competitive fighting game in the same way that a Virtua Fighter, Soul Calibur, or Tekken is. It is more of a bashy-mashy, dial-and combo experience. It always has been. I feel like this series is held to a different standard. Like, its fans are very casual, very mass market, and like, they're not the people who want to count frames and learn four stances. And, you know, it's like pop, disposable, fast food, fast and bloody.
My girlfriend and my roommate, girl, were playing Mortal Kombat last night, and they totally loved it. They're like, oh my god, this is so cool. And all they did was mash the buttons, and they did like 15
and you do cool stuff. Like, it's easy to pick up, pull off cool shit, and like, you know, the online play actually works really well. And I think because it's not a very technical game, you know, you're just mashing buttons, crazy moves are happening. You know, you don't notice if there's any lag, and I didn't really experience much. You know?
I wouldn't dismiss Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe immediately, just because it is the Mortal Kombat thing. In Mortal Kombat 2 and 3, there's a lot of competitive stuff you can do.
I really like Mortal Kombat 2, but you take all the characters even in that game, and like, they're all the same. Outside of their special moves, they're all exactly the same character.
Did you feel like this game was all the same too?
A lot of the movements are very similar. Everybody has, you know, the uppercut and
projectiles. You know,
the signature uppercuts, the signature jumps.
Right. Well,
But
the thing about Mortal Kombat, it's always kind of been trapped in, it has to be the same thing it always has been, and secretly it skews younger. Even though Mortal Kombat's full of blood and decapitations, it's really younger players who are into it. And I think it's smart that they did the DC Universe license, because it's kind of owning up to the fact, hey, kids like this game, we're going to make it a teen-rated game, put a bunch of well-known superheroes in it, and like, everyone's happy.
Round 1, fight.
What do you guys think of the roster?
Immediately,
Characters
I like the
there.
Joker the best.
Well, of course, everyone's going to like the Joker. I feel like they made some weird choices, like Deadpool with
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke. I don't even know who the fuck is that.
Deathstroke
Who is that?
He's one of my. He's a Teen Titans villain. He's one of my favorite DC villains, and like I give them props for including such an obscure character.
Right.
But like, who else other than like somebody like me is gonna know who he is?
Yeah.
It's like they went, we need another DC villain. Like, who can we use that's not a Batman villain? And that's what they came up with.
But one thing that was good, the last game got rid of traditional fatalities. There were no, like, you know, you push these buttons to do fatality.
Yeah.
This time, they brought those back, except because it's a teen rating, they're not as violent as they used to be. And the DC characters don't even have fatalities. They're called, like,
Heroic brutalities.
And they're all pretty lame, actually.
They're kind of dumb. I mean, like, you know, Liu Kang like drops a Mortal Kombat 1 arcade machine on somebody's head. Like, that's all right. I mean, you don't have like Sub-Zero pulling people's heads off or Kano pulling people's hearts out, or
Yeah, they're more lighthearted,
You know,
but you know they're still
teen-rated.
They're teen-rated. They're fun, but it's a step. It's better than Armageddon, which didn't even have real fatality. I mean, I think it is what it is. Is kind of the mantra for Mortal Kombat, and I think this is the best one to come along in a while. But again, it really isn't a serious fighting game. And like once you're okay with that, once you take this out of the running, and like, you know, people are arguing, is this better than Street Fighter? Is this better than Virtua Fighter? Well, it isn't. It's a different
audience.
It's a different beast, and I think they did a good job with this one. But I'd like to see, you know, the next one hopefully not have a teen rating, because it does feel a little neutered, you know.
You want more blood, more brains?
Not me necessarily. I don't really care, but I think the hardcore MK fans will be a little upset that there's not, you know, the gory giant pit full of leg bones and skulls and crazy shit.
For me, it was kind of playing catch up to Uncharted.
Yeah.
And then Uncharted
Yeah.
kind of leapfrogged it. I liked Legend a lot.
Okay. I've been kind of out of the Tomb Raider series since, like, you know, the late 90s.
So have you not played Legend?
No, you know, I played a little bit of it, but it really took Uncharted to get me back to Tomb Raider, to be honest.
Because I think if you've played Legend, this won't be nearly the same step that was over like, you know, everything before it. The main thing I enjoyed about the game is that more so than before, all the exploration and puzzle solving, it's all very organic.
Right.
Like even you learned in the beginning, like the game starts off and the very first area you just have to like swim down into the ocean and go find these two like levers to like get into this door.
Yeah.
And you just gotta go do it.
have to go off and explore, and you have to be willing to do that.
And I like that a lot. And outside of that first part, I don't really think I got stuck for more than like a minute or two anywhere else in the
Same
game.
here. Yeah. There are parts that maybe are, like visually kind of a little bit deceptive, like you may not realize that you can actually hang on to this or whatever. But once you kind of learn the game a little bit, then it's you start looking for those visual cues, and they're really, really good.
They're pretty natural settings considering they have little handholds and ledges everywhere.
Yeah, and Uncharted did it well too, but this one I think Tomb Raider does it even better. It's just that feeling of when you climb up really, really high and you're like pretty much jumping from pillar to pillar, just crazy acrobatics. Visually though, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think the scale was actually the biggest difference in these levels versus any other Tomb Raider game before. There's still camera issues like 12 years later, and they're really frustrating. You'll be up against the ledge standing, and you'll have to jump like backwards onto another area, but you can't turn the camera all the way to look where you're supposed to be landing. Usually you're okay and they work out, but it just makes it so you have to kind of be hesitant. It doesn't feel nearly as natural. You can't be confident with a lot of your jumps in the game.
Yeah, the game does so much right too in its level design and all that, but that's why it really, I was puzzled by that, because it's like you made this level, you understand, and as the creators were making it, like why did they choose to have the camera there, or why did they, if they knew that this area was going to result in a bad camera angle, why did they keep it?
So that part, like that kind of core exploration of Tomb Raider, that has like never been better for me. But by comparison, that makes the combat feel all the more unnecessary and like frustrating for me in every single instance. All the smaller enemies, just like the spiders or little things, will just like come into your field of view. You'll lock onto them and kill them. You'll just it's a matter of locking on, pulling the trigger until they're all dead. Then the bigger enemies, you won't be able to stand back up, they'll keep knocking you down while you're attacking them. You pretty much just have to dodge and fire until they're dead. There's not really any interesting way of fighting in the game.
It actually got better, I thought, later as you went through the game, but like early on, especially when you're on the boat and stuff and you're fighting like other people, pretty much point blank shooting someone like 5 times in the face and they're still not going down. Combat is just kind of there.
That's the big difference from Uncharted, I think.
I wasn't expecting too much from the combat in Tomb Raider. It's not really why I was looking to play the game.
No, that's totally
so
true.
It's kind of like I was there for basically, adventuring through
I just want, at this point, I want like all adventuring. That's fine. I can get my combat elsewhere. When I'm playing that, it's like that was annoying just every time I broke it up.
Incredible. The carvings are clearly similar to early Germanic design. But this is far older than the 5th century, yet, strangely enough, more sophisticated.
Laura, I feel like she needs a bit of a makeover again, because she's still a little bit too cartoony to be taken seriously, and especially later in the story in this game, there are kind of some more serious moments with her, and it's like, well, you're still kind of this like Barbie in this real world, and we've accepted Laura as this person who can do all these fantastical things, but she herself is just kind of this caricature and not a real person, and that's something I'd like to see, like, I think, like, narratively, a way that the series could mature.
Yeah, she's still kind of cartoony, but the animations and kind of what they've done to, like, her skin and stuff like that when she gets, like, dirty and stuff like that, that's much better. But
it is a little more jarring now than ever, though, by comparison, when a lot of times you'll, like, jump from a stationary part to a little thin ledge, and it will cheat the animation to, like, help you land on it. And that, where it's like, whoa, okay, I'm glad I did it, but I didn't deserve to.
Right.
The big issue we have to talk about, though, which didn't bother you, well, and maybe not in the same way, but, I mean, it is on the shorter side. It's like a tutorial and then 6 levels. In almost all levels, you, like, go to one point and then get back to the beginning or something. That's usually done well, but it's like you're already stretching out the levels you have that much. For me, Tomb Raider felt really abrupt. The last level is really cool, but then it's just done. There's no final boss fight. There's just a cutscene that wraps everything up, and then it's just over.
I felt like I got a lot out of the game, though, still. Like,
see, for me, it was still building, and it hadn't, like, peaked yet. And especially considering that in most levels, you're, like, backtracking. doesn't feel complete right now. And like I said, it's not so much the length. It's just everything suddenly grinds to a halt. We do know they've announced like 360 exclusive downloadable content, like it says 6 more hours of single player content. And I've been trying to find out where in the story continuity is, because if they're like, well, this picks off right where it left off, then it's like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, I know.
Put it on the disc. And PS3 owners are going to be screwed if that's the case.
Exactly, yeah. The high moments in the game are really, really good. And for me, that's what I wanted, and I got that out of it. But as a whole, like, yeah, I mean, it had some issues like the camera. It was just, I was looking for those like real high moments. So
and I mean, I did enjoy the game, but these things just kind of were like frustrating me ultimately because of what I wanted from like another Tomb Raider game. Now having higher expectations because of Legend. If you want kind of very like just low commitment, straightforward exploration, like that's it's really good for that. And that if that's your expectations for a Tomb Raider game, that's exactly what you'll get. I guess just after the step that Legend was, I was expecting then kind of, for me at least, to reach like another level.
Oh! Fuck! Oh, dude, sorry, Rob. Sorry. Did I hurt you?
Oh, it's nothing. It's
nothing.
Totally cool.
What nothing happened to you?
Dude, ever since that fucking bike accident with the iron and the falling down the stairs and
Stairs? You don't even have stairs in your apartment. It's one floor.
It was a big accident and
Bike accident
a few days ago, involving the stairs and the lot of speed.
Stairs with a bike.
Yeah, you know, it was epic. And yeah, and
did somebody beat you?
No, that didn't happen. No, it was a bike accident. It was a bike accident.
Look, man, you can tell me.
Oh, hey, I'm blowing up, dude. I should probably take this. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for the talk.
You need anything, let me know.
Got a lot of baggage associated with it. Pretty much. Everybody remembers the original game, which was labeled a Halo killer. Whoever labeled it that, it didn't quite live up to it. It was decent for the PlayStation 2, but it had some troubles because of the hardware.
And considering it came from an independent studio too, I think it was a decent effort. And they might not have reached the goals that they anticipate or they tried to go for, but I thought it was still a successful product, but Killzone 2 is definitely a big step up now that they have Sony behind them.
It seems like they have a lot planned for multiplayer. I've been playing it, and honestly, I haven't been able to unlock most things, which actually is kind of annoying in that, for me, like the starting weapons, I feel like I'm at a disadvantage when someone has a sniper rifle, and that should be the case, but I hate to draw this comparison because it's not really a fair one, because they are different experiences, they're different games, but in Call of Duty 4, if I have the M4, M16, and there's a guy with a sniper rifle, if I'm accurate and I time my shots right, I have the ability to take him out. I never feel that's the case in this game. If the sniper is looking anywhere in my direction and I'm at any kind of distance, it's really hard even just to squeeze off one shot, because even one shot makes the gun jump and recoil. wish we'd had the opportunity to play it more, just so that we could have unlocked all that stuff. I mean, obviously I've been able to use a sniper rifle. There's like kind of a grenade launching gun. They're both really cool. The sniper rifle especially, since it's pretty much a one-hit kill. You hit them anywhere waist up and they're dead. And that seems actually really accurate and seems to work really well. But the game's mechanics, your shooting mechanics, are very realistic. I mean, from just recoil and just the way the guns move and react, they feel a lot like real-world guns, even though it takes place in the future and they're not real guns. That's actually kind of a problem too, in that shooting a real gun can be very, very difficult. And some people might really enjoy that, but for me, I didn't think it was that fun. Just the simple act of shooting guns in this game, I found kind of frustrating.
Having the fewer weapons to choose from kind of makes you learn the mechanics of the game a little bit. You know, you really have to strive to be that sort of tactical person and, you know, sneak around and find the enemies where they least expect you. And the maps in this game certainly have a lot of hiding points. And there's a lot of dead ends too that when players are running around frantically, they might get stuck in. So there's, you know, if you learn to trap people and really use the map to your advantage, I think it's a good skill to learn early on, and the game kind of forces you to do that, which I like.
Well, it does. Yeah, if someone gets a jump on you and they're behind you, you have no chance of taking them out because you turn so slowly, even with the X sensitivity turned all the way up. But for me, I kind of felt like I was always sort of fighting against the controls, and they've said they're not going to tweak them. They're like, we like the way this game plays. This is how we think it should play. I guess, like you said, they want to force people to be a little more strategic, and it really is a slow pace of play because the transition from when you're running to stopping and being able to shoot and shoot accurately takes a bit of time. So it forces you to choose when you're running, to stop and take cover, and then decide where and when you want to shoot people.
It might be a disadvantage, but it also helps kind of ground the game in whatever realism it is achieving. You know, along with the graphics and the real-time lighting and the sort of slow pace. You know, it creates a different shooter that I think the PlayStation 3 kind of needs right now. Killzone 2 really seems to be creating just like a good, solid game, and I think it's going to be an experience that people can really get into and master, you know, rather quickly.
Well, I mean, I guess you're a lot more positive about it than I am because, like, I want to like this game. I want this game to be great. The guys at Guerrilla have been working on this game a long time. They've put a lot of effort and passion into it. And I'm still not sure if it's worth playing in the long run because I'm still very frustrated with the controls.
Now, is this going to ruin the campaign like single player for you? Because I think that's going to be one of the biggest draws for this title.
Controls obviously are going to translate between multiplayer and single player. It's the same game, but you know, we just got a single player build in. We can't talk about it yet, and I look forward to actually playing through that and seeing how the design, because a big thing is the fact that you have a cover mechanic in single player that's not there in multiplayer. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays into kind of the rest of the control package, being able to take that cover and be a little more methodical and strategic.
You know, multiplayer kind of seems like a good addition, and I feel like they're doing all this beta testing now to really just make sure that it's not just tacked on.
I really like what they do with the games where throughout the course of the matches are really long, but in the course of a match, they'll give you 4 or 5, even 6 different game types. And it goes from one to the other to the other. So when you lose one, you're not out of the match. It goes right into another one. So you'll have like a search and destroy mission. Once that's over with, they'll go right into assassination. And I think that's really interesting. And it keeps you playing for a long period of time, so you're not having to wait to hop into another match. It's just one continuous match.
Yeah, it can take up to about 20 minutes to finish an entire match. And
yeah,
you know, you get a little tired by the end of it, but you know, those challenges really do give you, you know, impetus to keep going. You know, the controls for me, I'm okay with them. Yeah. And you know, the art direction and the level design are all pretty solid.
Yeah, and I think I can't not talk about how good the game looks because it is the best looking game console shooter I've ever seen. High quality textures, they really take advantage of like the size of Blu-ray. Obviously the lighting is honestly one of the best trademarks of the game. Like, they have done an amazing job at, while not matching the infamous Target video, like shot for shot or, you know, graphic for graphic, it's in the ballpark, and the fact that they've been able to reach that, I think they deserve a lot of credit for getting that far.
Hi, may I speak to Gabe Newell, please? This is Jay with the One Up Show. Thank you. Hi, Gabe. Yeah, this is Jay from the One Up Show. No, sir, actually, I want to let you know what I can do for you. It's Jay Fresh. Yes, I am a real person. Jay... Hello? Hi, this is BioWare. I wanted to talk to you guys about doing an exclusive with us on Mass Effect 2. I'm giving you the opportunity to have a world exclusive on the 1UP show next week for Half-Life Episode 3. Watashi no zuban ni hate itagatimasen ka? Moshi moshi. You're hooking up Jeff Keighley with a world exclusive. Right. This is Jay.
Hey, Fresh. Yeah, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Oh, dude, it's so awesome here. Yeah, I'm totally surprised my phone worked. I didn't want to go back to the hotel, so I figured I'd just give it a shot.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, what? What? Oh, yeah, no, it's okay, go ahead. Yeah, so how's the show going next week? You got everything lined up, right?
Next week on the show, I got some really exciting stuff, man. I got Bone Town.
Really?
PC,
Really?
and we've got Neopet 7 for the DS. It should be awesome.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. No. You tried beating up Rob, right?
Rob's in line. You might need a couple comp days though.
Alright, fuck it. We're doing a special.
I mean, we could do it.
No. We're doing a special. Alright. Bye.